Welcome back to the Takeout. Congressional Democrats have an initiative they call Red to Blue, and the name kind of gives it away. It focuses on a few dozen House races where Democrats hope to unseat Republicans, red to blue. Candidates in the program, well, they get a few things. They get some additional campaign cash, some strategic advice, and fundraising help. A new candidate was added to that list yesterday. His name, Brian Poindexter, who's running against Ohio Republican Max Miller in Ohio's 7th District. And Brian Poindexter joins us now. Brian, I know because I've read other interviews, you are not keen to talk about Max Miller's private problems, which have been well documented. I understand that. But the reality is the reason you're on red to blue is because he's in hot water now politically because of those underlying charges, which, as I said before, he vehemently denies. So do you have any opinion about his political standing, where this race is, and how you got on the red to blue list?
Well, I want to make one thing absolutely clear. We were going to get on red to blue, whether these allegations came to light or not. We built a campaign around fighting for working families, and that is very strong in this area of Ohio that's made up of hardworking families. We had already built a campaign that is running a strong race on the ground. We've seen people from the Democratic Party, the Independents, and the Republican Party who have decided they wanted to back me because of what we're fighting for, not necessarily who we're fighting against. Now, make no mistake, though, these allegations are very serious, and people I talk to in the district are shaken by them. As a father of two daughters, I'm shaken by them. But we didn't get it in this race because Max Miller is terrible in his personal life. We got in this race because the policies he supports are terrible for the working families of this district.
President Trump won your district, the 7th, by 11 points. That's a steep hill to climb. Why do you believe that hill is climbable?
Because I'm approaching it just like I have in my whole life. One foot in front of the other, talking to people from all across the political spectrum. And, make no mistake, Trump did win it by 11, but this is a district that Sherrod Brown runs well in because it's whichever candidate can capture the attention of the workers in this district who say, hey, I'm going to fight for you. That's who they tend to vote for. And President Trump came on scene with a message of bringing back manufacturing, making it a golden age for workers. And that just hasn't realized. And, that's why I believe even before anybody else in the country took notice of our race, I knew we were going to win because I am from the heart of the district. I work hard just like the people in this district. And I believe they're rallying around us because of that message.
Brian, you're on the city council. You're a unionized iron worker. And I'm sure in this Trump era, many of your iron worker friends told you why they backed Trump. Why did they? And do you sense, maybe for the first time since that era began in 2016, some estrangement from Trump among your iron worker friends?
Yeah, a lot of my friends and my family members have voted for Trump, and some of them still support Trump to this day. But they all have to face themselves in a mirror, and they're all being real with themselves and understanding that things are harder now than they have been in quite some time. And it's because that the golden age for workers hasn't realized. Costs are up, wages have stagnated, and people just can't make it to that next paycheck anymore. And they're looking for change. And, I'm not running a race against Trump. He's not on the ballot, but a lot of his policies are. And my opponent has supported those policies every step of the way that has got us into this mess. He supported the war in Iran multiple times, the tariffs multiple times. He voted for the one big ugly bill, and then, wanted to backtrack and reinstate the ACA subsidies. It's like a fireman or an arsonist being applauded for putting out a fire he started, and people are realizing that some of these policies aren't what's good for working families, and they're ready for change. And I'm the change that they're gonna want.
Let me talk to you very quickly, Brian, about that so-called big, beautiful bill, because part of it includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. If you're elected to Congress, do you vote against all those tax cuts?
Well, I would like to see those permanent. Those are temporary tax cuts, but the tax cuts for the ultra wealthy are permanent. But no, working families are having a hard time making it. And what I've come to realize through this race is that there's three reasons why working people don't want to pay taxes. One, they don't like what our tax money is used for. Two, this is the big one, when there's not enough money left over in your paycheck after taxes. And three, they don't like paying taxes when the rich people won't pay their taxes. And I think if we solve those items, I think people will really think that I did a good job as a congressman.
Brian Poindexter, I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you want to learn more, you can go to poindexterforcongress.com and read all about us. Thank you.
I'm sure they can. Brian Poindexter, appreciate it.